What's up, guys? Chris from Full Battle Jacket here, and I've been gaming all my life. This generation of consoles has just been baffling for me to watch. Somehow we've gotten from what was one of the greatest console generations ever with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, Nintendo Switch platforms to one of the worst. And lately, it seems like PC warriors have become some of the loudest voices in what used to be exclusively a console war. I'm going to break it all down, but first, do me a great big favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and share it with your friends. Thank you for over 200 subscribers in my first month uploading videos on YouTube. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 by January. We'll be unboxing a 30th anniversary PlayStation Pro console in November, so if that interests you, click that bell notification so you don't miss it. Now on to the topic. There's a lot of noise right now with console fans freaking out about Spider-Man 2 from the PlayStation 5 coming to PC, and Xbox and PC guys are fanning the flames. I think everybody just needs to calm down. Is it okay to be disappointed about it? I don't know, I guess. Is it a big deal in the grand scheme of things? Maybe, but not for the reasons that you think. Let's talk about this article over on levelup.com. I'll include a link to the source article in the description of the video down below. The headline, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S sales plummet in the US. Lowest point since 2019. Microsoft's console dropped 54%, while Sony's fell 45%. Absolutely devastating. It's a very short read, so I'll dig in and then we'll discuss. Nearly 4 years after their release, the current generation of Sony and Microsoft consoles failed to meet expectations. Part of the reason is their difficult launch during the pandemic, combined with development process challenges. Both hardware platforms are unlikely to recover for the remainder of their life cycle, a fact acknowledged by the companies themselves. However, the sales decline has now reached alarming levels. Matt Piscatella, Circana analyst, shared the report on the best-selling video games and consoles in the US for September 2024. And the hardware sector brings no good news. Overall, console sales fell 44% compared to September 2023, with revenue reaching $251 million, making the lowest point since September 2019, when $242 million was generated. Additionally, looking at console sales in the US so far this year, players spent 30% less on these systems. Regarding individual console performance, there's more bad news. Xbox Series X and S saw the biggest drop, with sales down 54%. Nintendo Switch also saw a 23% drop. But as it's in the final stage of its life cycle, its long-standing commercial success keeps its numbers from being as shocking. Despite these poor results, PS5 remained the best-selling console in both units and dollars last month, followed by Xbox Series X and S with the Nintendo hybrid system in third place. While the holiday season 2024 is around the corner, no major sales increases are expected for PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. It's likely their sales will get a boost from special sales periods and the release of new models such as the PS5 Pro for Sony and the digital Xbox Series X alongside new releases for Xbox Series S from Microsoft. Now, the optimist in me wants to counter some of these talking points with some facts that we know about the industry. First, we'll get the Switch out of the way. That's an aging platform, well past its prime, and we know the next generation offering is right around the corner, right? Conventional wisdom. Then there's the Xbox Series S and X consoles. Microsoft, as we know them today, have undeniably given up the fight for the living room. Here we have an Xbox brand that has gone out of its way to tell us, the consumer, not to buy their consoles. Oh, you don't need an Xbox, they say. Your phone is an Xbox. Your tablet is an Xbox. That Fire Stick in your TV, that over there, that's an Xbox too. Hell, even that display on your fancy French door refrigerator is an Xbox if you really want it to be, right? It's no wonder that nobody is buying an Xbox. Show of hands down in the comments section. How many of you out there subscribe to Game Pass and are using it on an Amazon Fire Stick? Really, I'd like to know. But again, being optimistic, if Microsoft's first-party pipeline is as strong as it ought to be, given all the money they've spent on acquisitions, they should be just fine. They have Call of Duty, they have Blizzard, King on mobile. That's a strong live service pedigree right there. Something Sony has been stepping on rakes to achieve all generation long with their own studios, which makes that a good segue into Sony. And you know I'm a big Sony guy, but that doesn't mean I can't be objective. A 45% drop in hardware sales is bad. It's real bad. But the optimist in me wants to suggest that maybe people are holding out for the PS5 Pro coming out next month, but honestly, it can't be as many as 55% of would-be sales holdouts over the course of the entire year, right? Wrong. It's worse than that. In 2022, Sony made history by making the first of multiple price increases in many regions for the PS5 console. And no, it was not because of corporate greed, but because of the global inflation and the economic realities touching everything we buy, not just consoles. Tech is supposed to get cheaper as it ages, right? But that's another trend that has been broken this console generation. I mean, take the PS5 Slim Digital Edition, for example. It's more compact than the original, it's more efficient, cheaper for Sony to make, and yet is being sold for $50 more than the original model from 4 years ago. Make it make sense. And while Xbox held out on increasing the price of their console for a little while anyhow, eventually they too followed suit with their own price increases, no longer able to hold the line under the current competitive conditions as they were. And you know, I've only been doing this YouTube thing for about a month now. September the 26th to be exact. But in just that little bit of time, I've gotten my fair share of detractors for some of my takes, not just in the comments, but also from other creators picking up my videos, reacting to them, whatever. And contrary to what some of you guys think about me, I'm not some mindless fanboy over in the corner gooning over my PS5. There's a difference between having a favorite place to play and being a corporate cheerleader. Besides my PS5 and my recent purchase of a PS5 Pro console, I own 3 Nintendo Switches, a Steam Deck, a capable laptop that I use to film these videos on. I bought my son a quality gaming PC a few years ago, and I pay for Game Pass Ultimate, which my son mainly uses, but I could have access to that if I wanted. It's just not my preferred way to play games. I'm not over here trying to be a software gatekeeper, as if to say, you over there, you shouldn't have access to Spider-Man because Spider-Man belongs to us. And you want to play Spider-Man, you should have bought the right plastic box. Give me a fucking break, guys. Here's what I'm gonna say though, and I'm trying to wrap this up, so bear with me. Spider-Man 2 may be signaling a trend that Sony titles may come to PC sooner, but it may not be. Remember, Spider-Man has some interesting caveats to go along with it. It could be that Marvel is putting pressure on Sony to accelerate Spider-Man to the PC. It's an expensive license after all. Same reason Xbox's Indiana Jones has to be multi-platform. Maybe Sony has determined that it'll push first-party titles onto the PC when sales have reached a certain saturation point on the PS5, and Spider-Man 2 has gotten there. Or maybe chew on this. Sony's fiscal year ends in March of next year. The extra revenue that Spider-Man 2 on the PC could bring in could just be what Sony needs to help meet the demands of shareholders, since Concord's colossal failure left a $400 million hole in PlayStation's bottom line this year. If we ever get to a point in time where Sony's console titles go day and date with the PC, then something drastic will have to change with Sony's business approach. Because the whole reason PlayStation games have to go to the PC is because game budgets and operational costs have ballooned way out of control, completely out of orbit. Sony needs another revenue stream. So let them go ahead and sell it on PC so that they can make that money. Who cares? The way I see it, what's good for PlayStation is what's good for PlayStation fans. But the knock-on effect is that they lose 30% to Steam. It's counterproductive to the whole reason they want to sell on PC in the first place. Day and date is just not a viable course unless it's a live service game that lives or dies by their player count. In my opinion, launching day and date on PC for most Sony first-party titles, we're talking like first-party single-player narrative titles, is stupid because they're going to lose that 30% pound of flesh on the PC. Consider also that there are PC fans that also own a Sony PlayStation console. So if they buy it on PC, that's more revenue lost than if Sony were to launch it first on the console. The only way day and date will ever work for Sony is if they make their own launcher, and therefore they get to keep 100% of the sales. And I think that's exactly what they're working on. And I think that's why they are requiring PC players to register for a PlayStation account. They are building the infrastructure slowly but surely. I firmly believe that. I'll tell you what, though. I think Nintendo is sitting around watching all of this unfold, and they must be laughing to themselves somewhere over in Japan, because I think the Nintendo Switch 2, or whatever it's going to be officially called, is going to be a monster. It may just end up being as powerful as a PlayStation 4 with AI upscaling. When this generation is done and dusted, the house that Mario built could be sitting on top of a battered and beaten PlayStation and an Xbox. We'll have to see. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video there. If you stayed to the end, you have my gratitude. Please remember to like the video, push it out into the algorithm so more eyeballs can see it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. The channel is growing very rapidly, and I appreciate all of your support. Leave a comment for me down below. Let me know what you think. Are PC ports hurting consoles? Are they killing consoles? Is it really no big deal? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments, and I'll talk to you there. Till the next video, peace.